Hello, I'm Liz du Plessis, the Instructional Designer in Distance Education at Santa Rosa Junior College. In this video, Dr. Jennifer Carlin-Goldberg explains why she and her math colleagues at SRJC use free e-textbooks in their classes and how she uses Canvas Commons to share her own resources with her department. I'll show you how to use Commons yourself to import open educational resources and to share your own resources with others. Let's get started. First, I'll tell you a little about Jennifer and about the free online textbooks adopted by the math department. Jennifer grew up in Petaluma and earned an AA in mathematics from SRJC in 1997. She completed a PhD in mathematics at UC Santa Cruz, and she was hired full-time at SRJC in 2012. In the 20 years since Jennifer was a student here, free online math tools have become widely available, from Khan Academy to full e-textbooks. For pre-calculus classes, she and other math faculty at SRJC use the Stitz-Ziegler Open Source Mathematics Textbook, which is an Open Educational Resource, or OER.
But mostly we want people to start using more of these free textbooks in our department and all across the college and all across the state. All right, the more people who are using the OERs, the better. Right, saves our students money.
Co-authors Dr. Carl Stitz and Dr. Jeff Ziegler, who teach at community colleges in Ohio, gave the textbook a Creative Commons license that allows anyone to use, share, and adapt the resources at no charge. Dr. Stitz received a grant to develop OERs to make learning math and engineering more accessible to Ohio residents. The authors are featured in a YouTube video on the Ohio Higher Ed channel, in which they explain what inspired them to create OERs.
One of the things I told people when we first got started is we put together a very traditional book and distributed it in a non-traditional way.
The book reps would come and say, okay, the edition you're using now is coming up for revision. And I would look at the 7th edition of the book and look at the 6th edition of the book, and there were no actual changes.
We teach at community colleges, and our tuition is roughly $100 a credit hour. To ask a student to buy a $200 book takes them out of 2 hours of class. There's nothing new in a college algebra textbook at all, and by that I mean it's at least 100 years old. It should be open source. It should be, what's the word I'm looking for, public domain. By now everything in that book should be public domain, and therefore we just decided that we could do a better job writing it ourselves and giving it away for free.
You can watch the rest of the video on YouTube if you search this title. Also take a look at Carl Stitz's YouTube channel for his free instructional videos. Now let's see how Jennifer is using Canvas Commons to share her own resources with other faculty members in the math department at SRJC. You can see her resources for yourself if you log into Canvas and go to Commons. Commons is a repository that enables educators to find, import, and share resources. If you search Jennifer's name, you'll find entire courses and course components, including quizzes, to accompany the OER textbook that she and her colleagues have adopted. Jennifer and her colleagues plan to share the resources beyond SRJC as well.
Well, we all use the same textbook, and when I talk about Canvas with my colleagues, I let them know that there is stuff in there that they can borrow, actually that they can take.
And edit.
Yep, and edit.
All of that.
One thing we are doing in our department is we are building a fairly comprehensive Canvas course for the statistics to go with an open education resource that many of our faculty are using, and we're going to put that into the Commons and make that available for everybody who's using that textbook to use. And there's videos in there, and we are going to create quizzes to go with the different sections. No, we'll share it with the public, and we'll let the authors know. So if they want to spread the word, if they like what we've done, that other people at other colleges can use it.
Jennifer uses Canvas to supplement her face-to-face courses. She finds the quiz tool to be especially useful for providing instant feedback to students.
But the answer is given to them right after they've submitted it. And
okay.
So I like instant feedback, and so I won't have to write quite so much in everybody's file and as an explanation of why their answer is wrong. And I give a little explanation on how, right? They're supposed to be answering the question.
The quiz also alerts students if they fail to answer a question.
One of the biggest problems I had with the labs is that students wouldn't answer a question. They'd miss a question maybe because they weren't reading carefully, or they took two separate questions and thought they were the same, so they combined them. One question was specifically what happens if you add 3 to all the data, and then in general what happens when you add just a constant to all the data, and then they would combine those two. And so one of the reasons why I'm doing this is to separate all the questions, make sure they're all here and they get warned that they haven't answered a question, and I am hoping for better results.
Now I'll tell you more about Commons and show you how to import and share resources yourself. With Commons, you can create a personal repository that only you can access, share resources with other users within your department or college, or with Canvas users at large, and import shared resources created by other Canvas users. A resource in Commons can be a course, module, quiz, assignment, discussion, page, document, video, image, or audio file. Each resource type has a unique icon. When you open Commons from the Global Navigation menu in Canvas, you will first see the Search page. Here, you can search for and view resources to import into your Canvas courses. Search for resources using keywords, tags, names, or institutions. You can filter resources by type and grade or level, and sort by most relevant, latest, or highest rated. And you can choose to omit public resources shared by users outside of your institution by clicking the toggle. If you belong to a group, such as these SRJC department groups, you'll see links to them in the sidebar, which allows you to view and share resources within that group only. If you'd like to create a group, contact our systems administrator at desupport@santarosa.edu. Click the name of any resource to view more details, including copyright and Creative Commons licenses, as well as file and content types included. You can preview certain file types before importing them into a Canvas course, including some documents, images, video, and audio files. You cannot, however, preview course components created using Canvas tools. For my own shared resources, I often include a URL to a publicly visible Canvas course so that faculty can take a look at the components before importing them. I also include a notice that if you import this resource a second time to the same course, it will overwrite the first import and any changes that you made to the first import. Renaming or editing the components does not prevent overwriting from Commons. And for the syllabus page specifically, any content on the current syllabus page in your course, even content that was not imported from Commons, will be overwritten when importing a syllabus page from Commons. For these reasons, I recommend that you use an unused course shell to import resources from Commons and then import them into the intended shell to avoid overwriting. If you don't have a shell for that purpose, you can set up a free for Teachers account to use for experimentation. Commons is available in all free for Teacher accounts. You can also request extra course shells for development, or sandboxes, to use for Commons content. Go to de.santarosa.edu, click on Canvas Request Forms, and select Course Shell for course development. In some cases, overwriting by Commons is useful. For instance, if you go to Commons and click on the Updates tab, you'll see updates available to resources that you imported. A pop-up will appear noting that the update will replace your current resource, including any edits that you've made. Now I'll show you how to share your own resources to Commons. To share an entire Canvas course, click the name of the course you want to share and click the Settings link. In the sidebar, click the Share to Commons button. To share individual Canvas components, including assignments, modules, quizzes, pages, and discussions, in the course navigation, locate the resource you'd like to share and click the Settings icon, then select Share to Commons. To share a document, image, video, or audio file, in course navigation, click the Files link. Select the Settings icon for the file and select Share to Commons. Next, select a sharing option, content license, grade level, and add metadata. These options are covered in detail in the Commons Guide available through the Help link in our Canvas environment. When you're done, click the Share button. By clicking the shared link in Commons, you can view a list of all your shared resources in Commons. From here, you can view the details of your shared resources and edit or delete them. Jennifer's shared math resources are meant to help students learn higher-order thinking skills.
Interpreting what they get, and answering the questions correctly. Sometimes there's a disconnect between the student's understanding of what is happening in relationship to the stuff in class, and I'm trying to, as much as possible, get that connection.
Thanks, Jennifer.